Coming up next on the Legacy Journeys podcast.
In 2016, if I thought I would be here where I'm able to be on camera and to be judged by like millions, oh shit, look, let me...
Yeah.
I'm about to have a freak out right now. No, I'm just playing. But it took a lot for me to get to where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's really powerful. And I won't even take it to the point of like different types of, practice relationships that I was in, because I've been married a couple of times, and I've lived with someone even that wasn't, my wife in the past. And so, I'm super duper fortunate to have found you. But even then, when I say but, I mean like before we met, like I never thought about us doing a podcast, or a show with my mate.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Legacy Journeys, where couples over 40 come to embrace the now, explore what's next, and evolve their relationship with real talk, real love, and a whole lot of laughter. I'm your host, Liv, along with my co-host,
Carlton, the host with the most, coast to coast. How you doing, Liv?
I'm great.
Good, great.
Yes,
okay. Great.
Awesome.
I like great.
Fantastic.
Fantastic?
How are you?
I like those words. Those are strong words for a strong woman like yourself. I like that.
That's why I use them. How are you?
I am awesome.
Awesome. That's good.
Hey, I want to make sure to let you guys know we appreciate you so much.
Yes.
And we would love for you guys to subscribe to our channel. We're getting lots of people viewing the shorts and the full-length episodes. However, just vote with that thumbs up. Just see it. Just hit that thumbs up for us. That'll be amazing. And that will continue to inspire us. And we do get a lot of thumbs ups. I'm saying thumbs up on the channel, not just the videos and stuff like that. We appreciate
on
that.
The channel.
Yes,
exactly.
that helps us out with YouTube. That helps us continue to be inspired. Because we're going to be inspired anyway. You know what I'm saying? But that just helps us just keep going, motivates us. There we go. Helps us motivate.
And subscribe to our channel. I promise y'all it's free.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no subscription price.
Right.
I promise.
Yeah, she told me that
I'm just saying.
Somebody didn't subscribe to our YouTube channel because they thought it cost money. So if you're watching this and you think that
you never know.
Money, you never know. You never know.
It's free though.
It is free. But make sure you all subscribe to the channel. We definitely appreciate that. So I wanted to make sure I said that. And several people have suggested that we go into how do we get to this point in our journey.
Right.
Okay. And that is a long story. That's like 100 years worth of information, right? Between the both of us.
Is it that much?
It's a lot. Because it took a lot for us just to get here. Right. You know what I mean? So we're gonna condense it and give you some of the I guess what you call it, the big points. Some of the
We're gonna give you a synopsis.
That's a good word for it. Synopsis.
Yeah, we're going to sum it up.
Yeah, we're going to sum it up. Yeah. So for y'all that don't know, my background is hip hop. I'm an Atlanta, Georgia native, and when I was a part of a group called Prophetics, I'm still part of that group. That's never going to die. And my stage name was Mellow Melanin. For those people that don't know it, I'm going to say that slow. Mellow Melanin. And we did a lot of shows. We had a chance to go to the Apollo. Before we were Prophetics, we had a chance to go to the Apollo. That was a fun trip. We had the chance to tour with the Roots, tour with KRS-One, started an independent record label, and things were fun. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Things were really fun. And before I even go any further, I want to make sure I take a moment to just give a shout out and give my brother some props. He just recently made his transition, DRES Tha BEATnik, and DRES was very instrumental in our group doing a lot of the things that we did. You know, he opened the stage. He hosted a lot of events in the city of Atlanta. He's a Philly native, and he was the host with the most. He was a beatboxer. He could sing. He could dance. He could rap. He released music. He toured with people like the Roots. All kind of people brought all kind of people to Atlanta. It was just an honor to just even have been in this man's presence, and that's a big reason. You know, when I think about it, you know, just someone like that giving me and my friends, other MCs and artists, a chance to display our art, to practice our art in the community. I mean, that's definitely going to be missed, and that's a hole that won't be filled by anybody else on this planet. So, DRES, brother, thank you so much to my fam in Atlanta. You know, I know we're hurting, but definitely want to make sure we celebrate my brother, and everybody's been doing some amazing tributes. So I just wanted to make sure I said that and gave my propers. Now, back to how we reached this point in our journey. You know, yeah.
So in 2016, when we met, he was doing Facebook Lives then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he would do them every morning, and I used to be like, wow, like you're really gonna be something amazing, you know what I'm saying, one day. And I had no idea that one day would be like now, and I would be a part of that with him.
And that's pretty cool, y'all. And I think something I wrote about DRES too was about impact.
Mm-hmm.
And so we never really know how much impact that we have on each other. You know, in case in point,
Mm-hmm.
we're doing the podcast together. You know, and listen,
if you would have asked me in 2016 if I seen myself today doing this, I would have told you you're crazy. You're crazy as hell, I probably would have said, because I couldn't see it.
Yeah. And I mean, and we were together, and I never really thought about us doing the podcast. You know. And she had brought it up to me once before.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I was game for it. You know, I was like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Then I was like, okay, let's do it. And then, you know.
I was like, I was thinking of every excuse in the book because I wasn't ready at that time. I mean, I honestly had to go through a transformation to get to where I am today. And I'm just so thankful. And trust me, it was a hard transformation to go through, because I was so used to how I was raised and, you know, what my parents taught me to believe, and, you know, just everything, you know, things I dealt with my family, because I learned that you don't know. When you're a kid, you think your family is like your tribe.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
You don't know. Those are the people that you expect to get love from, you know, to treat you a certain way. And yeah, I just didn't get that. You know, and not because of anybody's fault. I mean, I'm not blaming anybody because I'm not a victim. At this point, I figure it was something that I had to go through to get me to where I am now. You know, that was all I knew. And so, like I said, if you would have asked me in 2016 if I thought I would be here where I'm able to be on camera and to be judged by like millions, oh shit, look, let me.
Yeah.
I'm about to have a freak out right now. No, I'm just playing. But it took a lot for me to get to where I'm at.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? That's really powerful. And I won't even take it to the point of like different types of, you know, practice relationships that I was in, because I've been married a couple of times, and I've lived with someone even that wasn't, my wife in the past. And so, I'm super duper fortunate to have found you. But even then, when I say but, I mean, like, before we met, like, I never thought about us doing a podcast, or a show, like a show with my mate. Now, I've always visited myself on stages, on platforms, especially when social media came out, because, when I'm saying this to you, like, I've been doing this, since social media was invented.
Right.
Since before the internet, I've been hip hop.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, in recording and putting music out, you know what I mean? Even if it was just on a little tape, I've been doing this for a long time. So this was a natural progression. And I guess I could say about my practice relationship, I don't regret any of those relationships.
I don't know.
Those were practice relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And it groomed me to be the person I am that could have a show with my wife.
Yeah.
Because that dude back then, in them other relationships, I don't think he couldn't have did this, what we're doing. Because it takes a lot of patience. So we ain't even talk about all the spiritual and emotional journeys that I personally had to go through. We starting to talk about yours.
I do, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, and that makes me think about it, like, well, what else did we actually have to go through to get to this point?
Oh, man. Well, for me, it was a self-image. Because, again, I grew up where my self-esteem was low. Because I had family, friends, it could be anybody, was always on me about my weight. And I've discussed it. I've been overweight majority of my life. From 12, 13 to now. You know what I'm saying? I've always been overweight. I always tried to keep my appearance up and not let it bother me. But it did. Mm-hmm. It did. It had an effect on me. So that was the reason why doing this, like, I could have never imagined. Like, even now, I have to ask myself, like, oh my God, are you seriously doing this? Because my self-esteem was so low, and my family, they didn't know that they were doing it, but I was always stigmatized, mm-hmm. With, oh, Olivia cursed you out, or, I was loud and I could never, and I'm not a loud person, but that's how everyone made me out to be. Mm-hmm. And so I struggled with that. And I also struggled with not being able to express my feelings. And I said in a couple of episodes when we were talking about mother-in-laws, and I said, like, I don't like confronting people. Mm-hmm. I've always had that issue. When someone, because I've had a lot of family, say and do things that hurt my feelings, and I never expressed it to them. Because there were times when I did, it was either they're telling me about what I did to them, or it was like, okay, my feelings were dismissed.
Right, yeah, validated, yeah.
It never validated. And that's another thing. I was always looking for validation. And that's why I was saying that when you're a kid, you look for acceptance from your family.
Right.
And when you don't get it, it sucks.
Right.
It sucks because you can't say anything, because what are you going to say?
Right. To the people that are like adults and stuff.
Right,
like
as a kid.
The influencers, yeah.
Right, like, who are you going to say something to?
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like my parents, well, for one, I never said anything to them. I would say things to my mom. But I guess she didn't know how to confront them either, because to me, they walked all over her as well. And so she was just used to that. And so I guess she felt like I should just go with the flow also, but I just couldn't. It just, and maybe that's why they thought I was loud, because she's so quiet. And here I am. I'm probably more like my dad than I hate to admit. But I'm not going to allow somebody to walk over me. Only but so much. Only but so much. But like I said, I mean, if you keep poking me, yeah, then eventually I'm going to go the fuck off. And I'm not going to care. So I guess in that sense, that's where I always get, oh, she'll curse you out. Yes. 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 She will curse you out for continuously disrespecting her. Yes, she will go off, because there's only but so much that I or anyone else can take.
Okay.
And so I carried that with me for so long. So yeah, I could have never imagined me being on camera and being myself and being vulnerable. No, I never seen that for myself.
Yeah. And then you ran into me.
And
I kicked her out of the nest, y'all. I kicked her right out of the nest. Get out there and fly, girl. Spread your wings.
Yeah, he just threw me in the pool and just let me, whatever happens, happens. You die, you die.
We almost lost you back there, didn't we? Shouts out to Kevin Hart. Like you
yes,
said.
Oh my God.
Look, like you told me.
That dude
I just wanted to give him a shout out.
Okay, I ain't even mad. Have y'all watched the BET Awards? I didn't even know anything about it. Did you know?
I
didn't see a commercial.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't watch TV as much.
Yeah, we've been busy
anymore.
doing this, y'all.
So, but yeah, I didn't even know that there was an award show on. So, yeah, I just want to check it out just because of him. Because the clips I've been seeing are hilarious.
Yeah. He's crazy too. That's our guy. We like laughing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Love laughing at him. But anyway, so what about you?
I mean, like I said, going through those different things and how we got to this part of our journey, I kicked you out of the nest basically, and when I say that lovingly, y'all, because I knew, because I had done a little podcast before, not to this degree, definitely not to this degree. I would talk into my phone and record it, and through a telephone line. It was crazy, you know what I'm saying? And so I had a little podcast going, about 2 or 3 people showed up every day, for it live. It was like a live call that I turned into a podcast.
Oh, okay.
I just turned the recording of the live call into the podcast. I might get like 3 people at the most that might show up,
Right.
And I did that for a while. I did that for about 6 months.
Okay.
Right. So I think I had another little podcast thing I did with music by myself another time. So I was like, okay, well, let's do it. Now, it really got real when she bought her mic, y'all. When she was asking, she just told me, like, well, I asked you what kind of mic to buy.
Oh yeah, because he thought I purchased it on my own. I'm like, no, because I know nothing about microphones. So I asked him, and I take action. And so he's telling me what type of microphone, and I'm like, okay. So went on Amazon, looked it up, and I ordered it.
Right. And then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, okay, we can't just have one. We got to have 2.
Right. So then...
And she didn't know that. And so immediately I went and ordered one too. And I was like, okay, she for real. Yeah. And I had already had like a backdrop for like my real estate videos that I was doing in the past. And it was like, no, we don't want to use that.
Right.
So we came up with we got another backdrop. We got a green screen. Y'all check out some of the previous video because we're 1 year in.
Yes, we're 1 year in, and yeah, check out those videos. But like I said, we were just starting, and so yeah, it was. I'm not gonna say it was a hot mess.
You got to start somewhere, yo. You got to start somewhere, and I just feel like some of those probably got some gold in it. Like we weren't even doing a lot of shorts then. Like now we're doing a lot of shorts for YouTube and TikTok and
Right.
reels and things like that. We weren't really doing a lot of those when we started, but some of those were probably funny as hell.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Definitely check those out. Let us know what y'all think about those. And
again, you could tell that we had just started and we really didn't know
yeah,
how to go about doing a podcast.
Yeah, we didn't have the lighting. Yeah, it's a lot of things we didn't have. So, I mean, but it evolves. But that's with everything. Like we've been telling y'all about our journeys. They evolve. So, how do we get to this point? Trial and error.
Yeah.
Being open and being willing to make mistakes. You know what I mean? So, yeah, it took a lot.
Yeah.
It took a lot.
Like I said, I had to go through a transformation literally to get to this point. Because I shared with y'all before, at one point, maybe not when I met him in 2016, but at one point I was like a little over 300 pounds. And so I had to work on myself, and I had to do that basically by separating myself. It's bad, but I had to separate myself from my family because they were killing me, like choking the life out of me, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to work on myself and remove myself from that situation. And that's when I decided, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I did Ozempic. And using Ozempic, I probably used it for maybe no more than 3 months. And it taught me how to listen to my stomach. I didn't have an appetite. And so it made me learn, like, okay, well, you don't have to eat if you're not hungry.
Right.
And it sounds easy, but it's really not. I had to train my body. And so it started with listening to my stomach to let me know when it's hungry, because your body will let you know and not your mind.
Yeah.
So, I would have to learn how to not listen to this, or I'm sorry, not listen to my mind, because your mind is going to tell you you're hungry and you're not. Your stomach will let you know. And so I worked on that. And then eventually, once I learned that, I incorporated intermittent fasting. And so I would typically have my last meal, well, my first meal I would have at after 12, and my last meal I would have before 8 p.m. And so I added that, and slowly but surely I started to lose the weight. But I still wasn't ready to be on camera. And so it wasn't until
we were going to 2024. We
started going to Hillside. Yep.
And we started going to church.
That's when that's when I started to really love myself. Or learn how to love on myself more. And I think that, and just like I said, with the transformation, I was able to be on camera and to allow judgment. And still, I remember one time in our recording, I said I was 51, and somebody said on TikTok, what did they say?
You look
more like 60 something. And I was like,
yeah. And then I had to assure her that it's gonna be trolls out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then a lot of times people, we respect everybody's opinion. They got their opinion, you know. Like our Tyler Perry video. For what was the movie we just watched? Straw. Okay, so like our video, you know, people are gonna have opinions. They're gonna have opinions about us. Like we had opinions of his work. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna have opinions of our work. And people are gonna say something, especially in this social media social media era where people could just type stuff.
Oh yeah,
with their phone
they could be behind the keyboard
and say just all kind of destructive things.
And be bold as hell.
Yeah. And so you can't control that.
No.
And the willingness to take those arrows and to take the jabs and to take those insults, you know, from people, because they're gonna come.
Oh, they're gonna come.
You know, they're gonna come.
They're gonna come. But I had to learn to use that as fuel to be better.
Yeah.
Use it to motivate me.
Right.
And it's hard because we had another comment before where somebody, and I know I have a habit of saying, I know, all the time. And I'm trying to work on that. But somebody left a comment and was like, I know. And then put in all caps, no, I don't know. Yeah, that one stung. Because I'm like, it's an issue for me. I know that it's an error of mine where I say it all the time. And so, again, I had to work up. I had to go through a transformation to get to this point because it's still not easy.
Oh, yeah.
To deal with people judging you.
Right. And
judging you by your appearance. Yeah. Especially
the way you sound, all of that stuff. People would say all kind of stuff.
Yeah, look.
Yeah, you question yourself.
We've been told that we look alike.
Right.
I'm like, okay, well, my husband's handsome.
That's kind of a compliment. Like, is that kind of a compliment? Right. And my wife is beautiful. Like, is that kind of a compliment? You know,
I don't know, but
thanks for watching.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
either way.
Right. Because typically I tend not to, you know,
get involved. Care. But again, he's been in front of the camera.
I've been in front of.
He's used to it.
I've been in front of thousands of people with eyeball standards, like in real life. So, like at one time, performing. Right. So when I've been to the Apollo, I've been booed before. That's the part I didn't tell y'all of the story at the beginning. We got booed, you know.
Did y'all rub on the oak?
We rubbed on the log, and Meeks, what up, bye? Big Meeks, Eddie Meeks of Southern Vanguard Radio. Shout out to Eddie Meeks and John Doe. We went to the Apollo back in, it was in 94. Mm-hmm. And so we were just all happy. You know, we get there and Dougie Fresh was the MC. And so we're all zooted too. We're lit. Yeah, we had been chiefing like all day. We've been in New York. It was my first time going to New York. I think it was Meek's first time to go to New York. And the other guys, with the exception of Reg was from Nashville. And KD, Therico, and JC, they were all from like New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Okay. So we were all in a group together, right? Called the Insane Circle. So at any rate, just going up there, it was scary. And Meeks forgot to rub the log after Dougie Fresh introduced us. They had already been booing. Like the Apollo, what you see on TV ain't really like what it really is behind, like at one of the real events, right? Mm-hmm. It wasn't a whole big production like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like you have to win one and then go on.
Right.
So, but it was still packed with people, and they were still brutal. They are way more brutal in person than they ever are on TV.
Imagine. Okay.
I'm just surprised the tomato didn't hit the stage. Get off the stage!
Are you serious?
Yeah,
that's how bad
they
were.
They were booing kids. Look, the kids came out with their little dance routine and rapping, boo! Like they was like elementary school kids. So I'm pretty sure, like, that probably
did not.
That was probably traumatic. It was probably traumatic. When I think about trauma, now we understand what trauma does. Yeah, that was probably a traumatic experience for some of those kids.
Oh God! So the only time you get to be on TV is if you make it through a certain amount of rounds.
Yeah, that was like the rules for it. Yeah,
wow.
Yeah, because like Scatman Crothers, The guy who used to be I think he was named the guy, the Sandman.
Sandman.
Not Scatman Crow. That's a different dude, y'all.
I'm like,
yeah, that's a different tap
Sandman.
dance. Right.
Okay.
The Sandman.
Right.
So the Sandman wasn't even there. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't a TV tape episode.
Okay.
But it was still brutal. But yo, your boy Meeks goes out on stage after Dougie Fresh introduces the name of our group. That he forgot to rub the log. They booed for that. Yeah, it was doomed. It was doomed.
Oh,
it was
man.
doomed. Yo, they booed us before. They had booed us like 3 good times before the music even came on. Like, we didn't have a DJ. We had a cassette tape. So cassette tape, the cassette tape got to play.
Right, right.
So we're standing there.
If you hit,
we don't, at that point, we're so young. Like, we don't know how to control the crowd or anything like that. We just up there because we can rap.
Right.
And someone thought we were good enough from Atlanta to go and perform. Like, we won a talent show.
Right.
So, yeah, we got roasted. Boo! I think it might have did it. Some people, I ain't going to call the name, but it might have did it them pretty bad. That's traumatic.
Yeah, it is.
You know
I can
imagine. Especially if you don't know what to expect.
Right, right. Yeah. And the Apollo, if y'all, for those of you who watched it, we seen the show.
Right.
So can you imagine?
Yeah, it was brutal. It was brutal. And I said after, if I could go through that and all those people have been on the stage, those great people like James Brown, Aretha Franklin, all kind of people been on that stage. Even Outkast had been on the stage. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I think after that point. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Why not me?
True.
Why not me? And the people, anything somebody write on social media cannot be worse than those people in the Apollo Theater in Harlem booing us. You know what I'm saying? Loud,
But it still didn't stop you, though.
No, it didn't. It didn't stop me, but it could have.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I knew what I wanted to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think I was still so excited. My first time going to New York, I had wanted to go there since I was a kid. I think I was probably like 27, 28 years old when this happened. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like a little kid. I'm up here. I wasn't expecting to get booed like that. But then once I realized they boo everybody.
Right. Not just y'all.
I didn't take it personal.
Right.
I didn't take it personal at all.
And that's the thing, not taking it personal.
Right.
Now I know, whatever. They could say whatever behind a keyboard.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? With their pictureless, what do you call it?
Their avatar.
Yeah.
They don't even have a real avatar.
With the letter of their name.
And they
whatever.
might have,
Show your face.
And this, like on YouTube, they might have like 4 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? 2
That's
subscribers.
what I'm saying. So the audacity.
Yeah. So, I mean, people, a lot of times, especially if you start doing good, one of my mentors told me this, people see what you're doing, and because you're doing it and you're having success at doing it, the reflection, you're like a mirror to them. So the reflection of you doing something that they're afraid to do, they're going to criticize it. A lot of times. They're going to criticize
So that's what it is.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times. Now, sometimes people just expressing their opinion, but people who trolling and just being nasty,
Yeah. Like I said, I get it now, and it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But that first one was like...
Oh, the first episode?
No, not the first episode.
Oh.
But the first bad comment.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? Where somebody was like 51, more like 65 or whatever.
Look, and I was like Karate Kid, Mr. Miyagi, like, yes, good. I'm glad you're going through that, Daniel-san. Because I knew, I'm like, yo, you gotta have that moment. You gotta have that moment when somebody else just deflates your shit if you're really gonna be successful in entertainment.
Yeah.
And that's basically what we doing.
Shit roll off.
Yeah.
And now, like I said, now it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
And like I said, the one where they were like, I know.
Oh, you know.
No, I don't know. Yeah,
you know. Yeah, no, I don't know.
No, I don't know. Like.
Right. And that's all. And it's I think with this or doing anything, it don't matter what you're into, right? Whether you're a podcaster, engineer, doctor, whatever, you're gonna learn on the job.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're getting some OJT.
Oh yeah, for
on
real.
the job, OTJ.
Yeah.
That's it, OTJ. On the job training.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so no one prepared you for this. Like you didn't go to a class for it.
No.
You know what I mean? So how do we get to this point? Yo, we just took action.
I just took it on the chin and kept it moving.
Yeah.
Like I said, I use it as encouragement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whether you saying something bad or good, you still saying something about me.
And
I appreciate it.
Right. And thank you. Thank you for all the haters. We need that for the algorithm. Please leave that comment. Please make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Do all of that for the algorithm, right?
Hey.
Okay, because listen, we want y'all to keep on checking us out. And that helps us. So we need those haters to come through. We need more of you.
Okay, yes. Yes. We need more of you to help us grow.
Yeah. So I think we've covered a lot. I mean, it's so much that we could cover. And how do we get to this point in our journey?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And we got plans, you know, we got ideas, we want to expand, we want to hire people, you know what I mean? Because this is a business for us.
Yeah, it is.
This is not a hobby.
No.
It's fun. And yeah, we love doing it.
Oh yeah, but it's a lot of work.
Yeah, it's work. It's work. And there are other people with the how to get a podcast started, right? But it ain't like how to keep one going.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How to keep going when things are not going well. How to keep going when you get kicked in the teeth by life, and how to keep going.
Yes.
Yeah, we've been through a lot of stuff since we put together. We done
much.
changed residences. Like we weren't planning on moving 2.5 hours away from
McCray.
Right. We weren't planning on moving to Middle Georgia. Not when we started the podcast.
No.
You know, not even when we met each other. That was not the plan.
Podcast was not the plan.
Yeah.
But
I didn't even know this place existed.
Like I said,
straight up.
I think what I told Carlton is that I had to learn to catch up because I never knew what my purpose was. And so again, through this transformation, that's when I found out, like, your purpose is to do this.
Mm-hmm.
This is it. And you know, and now, because my background is HR, I worked in payroll, I worked for HR, that's my background. So that's all I knew was working for someone else. I didn't know what it meant to be an entrepreneur. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And he introduced me to all of that. I mean, just the things he would talk about. And I'm like, well, you know, as far as like owning your own, you know what I'm saying? And like delayed gratitude.
Delayed gratification, yeah.
Or gratification,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He used to tell me a lot about that. Because I was always wanting to do and wanting to go. But he was like, later. Like once we take care of, you know, everything we're trying to take care of now, we could do that later. But I didn't understand that. You know, again, he taught me all of his, you know, years in teachings from Hillside. He would teach me that. I just didn't know. Like I said, I had to catch up to him to get to where he was, because I was here. He was already here. He was ready, set, go, and being a podcaster.
Yeah.
I had to catch up to him because I knew, like, one thing about me though, I've always wanted to write a story. I always wanted to write a book because I felt like I had a story to tell, because I've been through a lot, you know? And so, yeah, I wanted to express that, but I didn't know how. I didn't.
Right.
You know, I thought I was supposed to work for somebody else. I thought that was my life. I'm supposed to work until I get to a certain age, retire, and that's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
yeah,
no.
There's other realities. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that program.
No.
but we're not really taught there are options.
Right.
And if we don't see anybody doing those kind of things, you know, because it took me a while to be like, okay, I'm going to do this. Like I literally told my parents, like I was in college and I was like, look, I want to see if I can make it in the music industry. And I wasn't going to go to finish school.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I wasn't going to finish school. I said I was going to take a year off.
Mm-hmm.
And I did. And in that year, we won that talent show to go to the Apollo.
Oh, okay.
That was my confirmation. Like, I can do this. Somebody thought that I was good enough to send me up to an Apollo.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
I mean, so I don't know what else to say about it.
There's not.
There's plenty of us for us to evolve to.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? This is just a point, you know, along the timeline that we have. This is just a point, you know, one stop in our journey. It's definitely not the end.
No.
Yeah, because we got events to plan. We got a lot of things that we have in the works for Legacy Journeys as a business.
Right.
So I'm excited.
I'm so excited.
Yeah. So
yes, and I'm so thankful and just happy because I was unhappy in my jobs and I was going through a cycle. Like I would leave one and go to another, and after a while I was unhappy with that.
Thing.
It would be the
cycle.
same thing.
Yeah.
And so finally, you know, and thank God for little things. I know, like with me going through my health issues, it caused me to not be able to work anymore. But to me, it helped so that we can do this now.
Right.
Because otherwise, it opened the door for us to do this full time. Because
everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason.
Doesn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, God is good, seriously.
Yep.
And had it not been for that, because with me working and both of us working and trying to do this was a lot.
Yeah, to the level that we're doing it now.
Yeah, there is no way. Yeah. There is no way. And so
like I said, we're scratching the surface, y'all. We are scratching the surface. That's not even a brag. We just want to continue to keep on putting out this good content. We want to continue to express ourselves because this is a platform where we can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'm excited. Like I said, she said I'm excited too. I'm typically always excited.
Yes,
you know,
he is.
I live on a whole delight, ecstasy frequency a lot of times, like a little kid.
It's kind of freaky.
It's all good though. It's the little kid in me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know,
I'm just playing.
I accept, but I accept though. No, it may be freaky, but that's all right. Look, like my mentor said, let your freak flag fly.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Because
I like
they can call me a freak all day. I'm happy about who I am.
I know that's right.
You know what I mean? And can't nobody change that. And like you said, I was already right here because just like my brother DRES, again, rest in peace to you, my brother. He was always that person. He wasn't trying to be somebody else. I didn't know him to be a cyber coder. I didn't know him to be a doctor. I didn't know him to be a plumber. I didn't know him to be anything else but an amazing host and a good friend and just the influence. So
on that note,
we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So you got some nuggets out of this, and I hope you all did. I hope you can see some of our story in yourselves and make yourself want to keep going. Or if you got a dream or something like that,
right?
You know, dust that dream off. You know what they say: the greatest amount of dreams are in the cemetery, buried because people didn't get their dreams out of their head. They died with their dream inside them. So that's where the Legacy Journeys comes from, because this is our journey, and we want to create a legacy. Mm-hmm. We're already doing that. You know, doing that. So you all are a part of that experience with us, you know, and it's great to be able to say that because we want to impact people. Yes. You know, we definitely want to leave an impact on people. So make sure you all, if you listened this far, make sure you subscribe to our channel. Definitely give this video a thumbs up. And once you subscribe, hit that notification bell so you'll know the next time we put out a video.
Yes.
All right, because that's what we need from, a lot of people are putting out the videos, but make sure you hit that notification bell and share it with somebody you care about, because we dropping knowledge and nuggets and we having a good time.
All the time.
Yes, at the Legacy Journeys podcast. So with that being said, this is Carlton.
And I'm Liv.
And this is the Legacy Journeys podcast, where we embrace, explore, and evolve relationships like ours.
Yes. Just like ours.
Just like ours. We'll see y'all on the next video. Peace.